Care of the football. We're going to probably be on a sloppy field, could be dealing with a wet football. They're not calling for rain now during the game, but they've had lots of rain this week up there. So taking care of the football, I think, is number one. Number two, I think when they give us a chance to take shots at them, we need to be able to complete those passes and get the shot. They're going to try to play 7 in the box against us. It's important for us to get them back down to having 6 in the box. That'll be our goal. Yes, we just need to, when they give us opportunities to take a shot deep, we need to take advantage of it. You got to play assignment football because they play a blend of an option, triple option, and wing T style offense. If the field's as wet as I think it may be, they may be more of an I-wing team. I think that they'll try to get the ball outside against us, off tackle, like a sweep, get it downhill so that their backs can get going north and south instead of being east and west. Most of the time when you're on a sloppy field, you got to change up a little bit, especially if you're an option team. Now, if you can get your dive going, then that's different, but their offensive line's a young line. Our defensive line should be stronger than theirs, but it comes down to assignment football, and if I've got the dive, I got to get the dive. If I got quarterback, I got to get the quarterback. If I got pitch, I got to get pitch. Well, we think they've got nice facilities. We don't really know. We've never been there. I talked with Coach Osteen, who had been there when he was on the Giles County staff. He said it's a nice facility. So we're expecting it to be a nice facility. The long bus ride, it's a little longer than normal, but we go an hour and a half to play Lawrence County, so we've just added on hopefully no more than 45 minutes to that, but it's still a long ride. The biggest difference is the cost of the buses, the cost of what it cost our quarterback club to send us to the away games. It's a very, very expensive away trip. Jason Quick, our principal, deserves all the credit for coming up with the idea and wanting to make it into a happening event and not just a football game, and I think we were able to accomplish that. It is, from everything I have received feedback-wise, went over well. I think the people who were there really enjoyed it, and as Owen said earlier, that he thought his dad would have more friends coming next Friday night when we host our second ball game here at Tullahoma. I don't know, you'd really have to talk to the players on that. By that time period, our players, they are focused in on what their job is. You don't get a whole lot of emotional lift unless somebody's doing something negative towards you, and that can flame things up. But by the time we do the Wildcat Walk, our players are focused. They know what they're doing. They already got it down pat. And the emotional build for a football game, as you know, starts early in the week. And by the time you get to Friday afternoon, you're ready to go or you're in trouble, one of the two. So, I think that the parents enjoyed it a lot, seeing their young men come by. The young men are trying to establish a new tradition of the Wildcat Walk, and but as coaches and players are focused on one thing on Friday night, and that is try to play the best football game we possibly can, and we obviously like to come out on the top end of the scoreboard. Everybody else can enjoy the environment. The players there's not a whole lot of enjoyment for them unless they play well on the football field itself. We hope that you will make the trip up to Creekwood. As Chris said, it's a 2-hour drive. For the ones that do go, we're going to eat at the Cracker Barrel in Dixon following the game. We'd love to have you there as we arrive there to eat. And if not, enjoy watching the game on Channel 23, and hopefully it'll make it back here to Tullahoma. So anyway, look forward to seeing everybody that makes it to
Welcome to Creekwood High School in Charlotte, Tennessee. Good evening, everyone. It's time for Tullahoma Wildcat football on the Light Tube Sports Network and on 93.9 The Duck. Tonight, a Region 5 4A contest between the Tullahoma Wildcats and the Creekwood Redhawks. Creekwood coming off a 35-0 loss to Pearl Cone. The Redhawks, coached by Houston Thiel, are 0-2 in Region 5 4A, 1-3 overall. The Wildcats coming off a 28-20 win over Marshall County. Tullahoma 3-0 overall, 1-0 in Region 5 4A. Ken Keller, on paper, this seems quite one-sided. They don't play on paper.
Oh, no doubt about it. I mean, you expect in this game that Tullahoma's going to be a big favorite. Creekwood just has trouble scoring points. Tullahoma comes in averaging 31.3 points per game, whereas the Redhawks only average a paltry 5.25 points per game.
So again, Creekwood 1-3 overall, 0-2 in the region. Ken, this is a must-win game for Creekwood.
Well, it certainly is, and there's no doubt about it. I was talking to Creekwood's quarterback's dad, Mr. Stevens, prior to pregame, and the radio broadcaster for Creekwood that was very gracious to us tonight, showing good hospitality as all these people are here. Colin Castleberry was trying to tell Mr. Stevens, hey, the big game is Montgomery Central for us next week, not Tullahoma. And he says, hey, I don't want to hear that, Colin. He said, we want to win tonight.
Yeah, because if Tullahoma beats Creekwood tonight, Creekwood's basically relegated to trying to play for fourth place in the region. They'd have 3 region losses now. Everybody plays 8 region games, but 3 losses is about as many as you're probably going to get and make the playoffs.
No doubt about it. In this region, there's only 2 regions in the state. Region 8 2A has 9 teams, as does this region 5 4A has 9 teams. Tullahoma, Pearl Cone, and Montgomery Central, the only 3 undefeated teams out of the 9 remaining.
All right, looks like we're just about ready for the national anthem here. Creekwood had a great year, 10-3 last year. They advanced as far as Tullahoma did in the playoffs to the 3rd round. Pretty impressive group of seniors graduated out of here.
Oh, no doubt about it. So this is a young team. They're rebuilding. They do have some athleticism on this team, but Tullahoma definitely trumps them in experience and size, no doubt about it.
Tullahoma and Creekwood, Region 5 4A contest. Other big games tonight in Region 3 6A. Coffee County travels to Lebanon. Warren County is at Cookeville. In Region 5 5A, Lincoln County is at Spring Hill. Page is at Franklin County. Nolensville at Columbia. In Region 5 4A, Marshall County at Hillwood. Lawrence County at Pearl Cone. Glencliff at Montgomery Central. In Region 4 3A, Community is at Giles County. Lookout Valley at Cannon County. Sequatchie County at Grundy County. In Region 5 2A, Cascade is at Richland. And Summertown at Forest. In Region 5 1A, Fayetteville is at Moore County. Collinwood plays at Cornersville. Greenbrier, Shelbyville, and the Webb School, the feet are off tonight. We are in Charlotte, Tennessee, about a 2-hour drive from Tullahoma. We came up Highway 41A all the way through Eagleville to Triune and got on 840 West. Ken, easy drive. 2 hours, but an easy drive.
Yeah, 110 miles. This is our longest trek of the season thus far, and seeing a new opponent, I think that's going to be exciting for the Wildcats and for us as well tonight.
So we'll take our first break of the pregame. Be back with Ken's Keys to Victory. It's Tullahoma and Creekwood tonight, right here on the Light Tube Sports Network.
Furniture and Merchandise Outlet is a factory direct furniture store based here in Tennessee. Family owned and operated for 27 years, we promise you hometown service and the guaranteed best price in the state, every time. Come see our 30,000 square foot showroom with a warehouse to match, and we'll help you shop for every room in your home. Thank you, Tullahoma, for voting us Finest Furniture Store 3 years in a row. We look forward to many more.
Whether it's a home loan, a business loan, a personal loan, a loan for any good reason, Citizens Tri-County Bank is here to help you with the loans you need. With caring, friendly lending pros at convenient offices across Tullahoma, we love our community and we take pride in helping people get the loans they need. Citizens Tri-County Bank, focused on making loans for the individuals and businesses of our community.
Welcome back to Creekwood High School in Charlotte, Tennessee. Tonight, the Tullahoma Wildcats and the Creekwood Redhawks in Region 5 4A contest. Ken Keller, your keys to victory tonight for the Wildcats.
Well, looking for a fabulous performance out of the Wildcats. FAB, number one, 4 quarters. The Cats shut out Marshall County last week for the first 40 minutes, then allowed 3 touchdowns in a 6-minute fourth quarter span. THS needs to keep clawing a Red Hawk squad that has not scored a point in 2 region contests this season. Number 2, avoid the injury bug. THS wants to play fast and physical and get out injury-free tonight as a pivotal homecoming showdown looms next week versus Pearl Cone. And number 3, build depth. We should see a glimpse of the future tonight as the Wildcats are overwhelming favorites versus a brand-new opponent. Expect the Cardinal Black to build a comfortable lead, allowing much of its roster to get game experience and build crucial depth.
So Creekwood wins the coin toss. The Redhawks have declined the decision, so Tullahoma has an opportunity to have the football first, and the Wildcats will receive. Tullahoma in their Cardinal pants, white jerseys, and Cardinal helmets. Creekwood looks a lot like Ole Miss, blue pants, red jerseys, white helmets. Creekwood High School, red, white, and blue are their colors. Tullahoma will move left to right at this beautiful Creekwood High School football field. We appreciate you tuning in wherever you're listening in southern Middle Tennessee on 93.9 The Duck, watching in Tullahoma on Light Tube Channel 23, or maybe listening online, 939theduck.com. It is a beautiful mid-September evening for high school football here in Charlotte, Tennessee. It's football time in Tullahoma. Here come the Wildcats onto the field with Creekwood immediately to follow. So, Ken, we mentioned Tullahoma, a heavy favorite here. That's That's always dangerous territory. In watching Creekwood in their pregame warm-ups, I'm not seeing the athleticism to beat this Tullahoma team.
Yeah, they only have a few seniors on this roster. As you said, they won 10 games last season, and not a whole lot of experience or size on this team. But if you talk about prototypical trap games, Tullahoma has Pearl Cone on the horizon. I'm sure Coach Olive has really tried to focus this week on this Creekwood bunch.
Yeah, coming off a big emotional win over Marshall County, that's always a emotional game for the Wildcats, and turned out to be a tough win that they had to sort of hang on to capture. And so Tullahoma looking for a little quicker start tonight against this Creekwood team that has been outscored in its 2 region games 77-0.
Yeah, and that's the challenge right there for the Creekwood Redhawks is really, offensive explosion, big plays or lack of. They only average 5.5 points a game. They do have a win this season. They won their first game of the season, 27-14 over Dixon County, but 3 losses in a row. They come in with 3 losses, and they need to get their offense untracked and try to match points with the Wildcats.
So they managed to squeeze in their 2 biggest rivals in their non-region games, Dixon County and Fairview. As Ken just said, they beat Dixon County and lost to Fairview. Kicking off for Creekwood is number 16, Isaiah Kimbrough. And back to receive for the Wildcats, Jacob Dixon and Joe Duncan. Tullahoma moving left to right as you listen here in the first quarter. We're set to go here from Creekwood High School, and we are underway. It's a squib kick that Dixon will corral at the 18. Jacob circles left to the 20, 25-30, 35-40, and Jacob Dixon, nice run back to the 43-yard line, and that's where the Cats will open up.
Oh, excellent return there by Jacob Dixon, the Tullahoma senior. So he just picks the ball up off the ground and cuts across this soggy field. We walked this field pregame, and it is very wet and spongy out there. So excellent blocking there by the special teams of the Wildcats on that kickoff.
Still overcast now, but no rain here in the past couple of hours. Stopped raining, I don't know, about the time we showed up. Tullahoma lines it up. A little different view for us. This press box not very high off the field, much lower than we're accustomed to. Empty backfield for Ryan Scott as we open this game up. Tullahoma on offense. Scott back to throw. He's looking long. He's got a man. That man is Dixon, and it's incomplete, second down. Jacob got a hand on it, had to dive, though.
Yeah, Tullahoma takes it. Ryan Scott deep down the railroad tracks, right down the hash marks of the field. Near completion there on the first play of the game. Coverage by number 3 for the Redhawks. That is Jackson Ham, the safety.
So Tullahoma goes for the dagger first play unsuccessfully. And now the Cats will line it up. 2nd and 10. Keyshawn Cummings is the tailback with the H-back. And Cummings will take it right up the gut, run over 1, 2 Redhawks before he's down inside Creekwood territory. Very close to a first down.
Well, the Redhawks just got to introduce the physical running of Keyshawn Cummings, number 18, in that game last week against Marshall County. 21-14 contest, and he rips a 59-yard touchdown to clinch it. So things got a little scary in the fourth quarter of that game, and then when that happens, it seems like Keyshawn Cummings makes a big run.
3rd down and 1 Wildcats at the Creekwood 48. Scott rolls right. Scott being chased. Scott's going to have to get rid of it and does, and that pass is tipped by a Creekwood defender. Falls harmlessly to the turf, but it's 4th down.
Yeah, rollout pass on 3rd and 1. The deflection there by Michael Harris. He's a 4-year starter for these Redhawks. So very few experienced players, but we're already seeing a couple of them make plays here on this first defensive stand for the Redhawks.
Tullahoma's going to go for it on 4th down and 1 at the Creekwood 48. Wildcats have Logan Crouch, Ian Poe, J.T. Taylor, Zach Swiger, and Caden Bradford across that offensive line. In at the H-back is Ethan Anderson, and Jackson Sheffield is the tailback. 4th and 1 Tullahoma. Sheffield straight up the middle, first down and more. Sheffield tumbles inside the Creekwood 45 to the 42, a gain of 6.
Well, the 4th and 1 gamble pays off the Wildcats on this initial drive, and they give it to the jackhammer inside to number 22, Jackson Sheffield. Nice blocking on the interior of that Pancake Posse offensive line.
10:43 to go, scoreless first quarter, Tullahoma on the march. Same set for the Wildcats, 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Sheffield up the middle. Sheffield cuts it back, just lowers his head. Creekwood's not ready for the physical nature of the Tullahoma Wildcats. Sheffield's all the way down to the 28, a gain of 14 and first down.
Well, Creekwood seeing this 1-2 punch at running back early featured in the Wildcat offense, Cummings and Sheffield.
Spotted at the 28. Cats line it up. Sheffield again. This time Sheffield's loose. Sheffield to the 20, down to the 15, to the 13 goes Jackson Sheffield. That's another first down.
Well, Sheffield running over right guard, and, you know, this Pancake Posse, they're awarded pancakes each week by the Sundrop Shop and Luncheonette by Paige Prescott and Sundrop. So who wants the pancakes tonight? The coaches, after each week, pick a best offensive lineman of the week. Looks like they all want it tonight, Scott.
Gains of 14 and 15 yards on the last 2 runs by Jackson Sheffield. He remains in the game at tailback, with Anderson as the H-back now on the left side. Dixon in motion. Dixon will take the shuffle pass. Dixon tries to go left. Dixon needs a block, gets it. Dixon dances into the end zone for the touchdown. Jacob Dixon on the pass from Ryan Scott, 13 yards.
Well, Coach John Oliver and his staff roll the dice on a 4th and 1. They convert and finish the drive out off on the ground. So effective blocking and running, and it is capped by a Dixon touchdown run.
9:21 left to go first quarter. Tullahoma will line up the point after attempt. Justice Chadwick is the kicker. Will Parton the holder. Reagan Tomlin, your long snapper. Tullahoma scores on its first possession. Snap is a good one. The hold is down. The kick is good. 9:21 to go first quarter. Tullahoma 7, Creekwood nothing. This is the Light Tube Sports Network.
Body Shop was voted Never's Choice Small Business of the Year by the Tullahoma Area Chamber of Commerce for 2016, and we work daily to earn that award from every one of our customers. We specialize in using the most current technology available, including environmentally friendly waterborne paint. We work with all insurance companies and will gladly help you with any insurance claims or questions you may have. Call us at 931-455-2570 or come by our new office located at 606 South Jefferson Street. Be sure to look for the bright
Woods
red
Family Dentistry understands you never get a second chance to make a good first impression, and your smile is an important part of that impression. That's why they put together the most experienced, friendly, and professional staff. Add to that the most sophisticated diagnostic and treatment technology available. The result is a winning smile so powerful you could break ice with it. Visit the smile experts at Glicken Woods Family Dentistry and let your smile be the first thing people notice about you. Glicken Woods Family Dentistry, glickenwoods.com, or find them on Facebook.
Tullahoma drives 57 yards in 7 plays, using 2 minutes and 39 seconds off the clock. And with 9:21 to go in the first quarter, the Wildcats lead it 7-0. Justice Chadwick to kick it off for Tullahoma. Chadwick's kick is long and deep into the end zone for the touchback.
Excellent kickoff there by Chadwick. We're going to need that the remainder of the season. It's just so effective to make the opposing team come 80 yards on you.
So we'll get to see Jacob Stevens, number 1. He is the starting quarterback for this Creekwood football team. Starting running back, number 28, Malcolm McCoy. Nope, correct me. 33, DeMonte Evans is your starting tailback. Stevens lines up under center, brings a man in motion. It's just for show. Creekwood has a receiver split to the left and the right. And there's a pitch back. And there is no room there for Michael Harris. He was the man in motion. And Caden Tucker leads the way for the Wildcats. Like a no gain on the play.
Yeah, they're going to have trouble outrunning this Tullahoma defense to the sidelines there. Caden Tucker knifes through on that tall sweep left and makes the tackle. So things have started off very well for the Wildcats here early.
Creekwood, a huddling team. Tullahoma was last year, not this year. Stevens under center, back to throw. Straight drop, no pressure. Long pass out in the flat is incomplete. Intended for Ethan Donaldson. Donaldson had a step back there, but pass was overthrown. It's third down.
I sure did. He was open there. So they do have some skill at wide receiver, no doubt about it. Watch out for Donaldson there, number 2. And they have a young man that was a freshman breakout last year, an impact freshman named Jamison Ford. He's number 9, so he's a 6'2", 165 wide receiver, only a sophomore.
And he is split to the right side, in the slot actually on the right side. Stevens in the shotgun on 3rd and 10 at the 20-yard line of Creekwood. There's a handoff inside, not much happening there for Michael Harris. He might have got a yard.
Yeah, Harris, and 4-year starter for this Red Hawk team. Also plays linebacker. Nowhere to run on that one.
Give Harris a yard. It's 4th down and 9 for the Red Hawks at the Creekwood 21-yard line. With 8:10 left to go in the first quarter, Tullahoma leads 7-0. Jacob Dixon back to receive a very, very short punt. Takes a Tullahoma bounce right out of bounds, and the Wildcats are going to have possession at the 38-yard line.
Yeah, excellent field position there early. You know, after the Tullahoma forced a 3 and out on defense, so they've set the intensity. As we said pregame here, that this Creekwood team just has trouble scoring. 2 straight region games. They were blanked by Marshall County 2 weeks ago, 42-0. Pearl-Cohn last week, 35-0.
And we heard when we got here that of that 3-game stretch for Creekwood, the Red Hawks felt like Tullahoma was their best chance at a win. So the Cats line it up 1st and 10 at the Creekwood 46. Handoff the Diesel. Diesel tripped up at the 40. Mark it at the 41, a gain of 5 for Keyshawn Cummings.
Yeah, Andrew Bruce tripped him up. If not for that, Cummings may have scored. A lot of green in front of him on that, just trips him up by the ankles, does Bruce.
Ball spotted at the Red Hawk 41. 2nd and 5 Wildcats with Cummings as the tailback. 3 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Melton in motion. Scott scrambles. Scott tucks it away, and Scott tackled at the 40. Picked up a yard, 3rd and 4.
Yeah, good defense right there by the Red Hawks. Number 26 made initial contact. That's DeJohn Sweat.
So no gain on the play. 3rd down and 5 for the Wildcats at the 41 of Creekwood. Tullahoma leads 7-0, 6:50 to go in the first quarter. Just a small crowd here at Creekwood. Tullahoma brought a great 150, 200 people here. Almost filled up the visitor stands. 3rd down Wildcats, handoff Cummings. Cummings lumbers his way inside the 40, close to the 1st down. See where they spot it. Keyshawn needed 5. He got very close to 5, and it is a Wildcat 1st down.
Or just a fake handoff to Dixon in motion, just that little scissors play with the run to Cummings, and they get to convert the 3rd down there on 3rd and 5.
So Melton and Grizzard will line up on the right side, Dixon and Duncan on the left. Thus far, Tullahoma has been a running offense.
Yeah, doing their damage on the ground tonight.
Wet, soggy turf. Really beautiful field here at Creekwood. Scott back to throw. Scott looks long. Scott has a man long. That pass is dropped. Joe Duncan. You won't see that very often, but Duncan had it, got both hands on it, couldn't corral it in.
Yeah, Scott targeted Duncan the whole time. He locked on to him. He had one-on-one coverage down the left sideline. So Pass just off the fingertips, a near miss for the Wildcats there.
So with 5:53 to go in the first quarter, Tullahoma leading 7-0, second down and 10 at the Creekwood 35. Cats have gone for a couple of long ones here, unable to connect, but the short running game has been very, very productive. Scott back to throw, second and 10. Scott looks for Dixon, has him wide open. Dixon complete, dives for the goal line. Did he make it? No. First and goal at the 1-yard line for the Wildcats. 34 yards on the pass from Scott to Dixon.
Well, great pass blocking by the offensive line of the Wildcats. Set up a clean pocket for Mr. Scott there, and he delivered that ball on target. Little out pattern there on the Tullahoma sidelines. Deep sidelines out pattern complete. Nice catch by Dixon.
Spotted at the Creekwood 2. Scott, quick pass out in the flat to Melton, complete, and Melton is into the end zone for the touchdown. Ryan Scott to Brody Melton for 2 yards and the score.
Well, Rob Gronkowski scored twice against the Cowboys. We see last week Baby Gronk scores tonight for the Tullahoma Wildcats at the 5:29 mark. Tullahoma's up 2 touchdowns.
Justice Chadwick in to attempt the point after, as Tullahoma builds its first quarter lead here. Wildcats have had the ball twice, scored 2 touchdowns. Creekwood 1 possession, 3 and out, gained 1 yard. High snap. Barton pulls it down, and the kick is good. 5:29 to go, first quarter. Tullahoma 14, Creekwood nothing. This is the Light Tube Sports Network.
As football is a tradition in our community, so is Stroop's Accurate Refrigeration. We were here then, we are here now, serving our community for over 45 years. Continue the winning combination, Stroop's Accurate Refrigeration for the win. Call 455-8757, the name you can trust.
Football time in Tennessee, and nobody tackles the competition like the Russell Barnett Automotive family. With 6 locations to serve you, certified collision center, over 1,000 new and pre-owned vehicles to choose from at russellbarnett.com. Hometown auto rental, limited lifetime powertrain warranty on certain units, certified pre-owned units. Too many reasons to mention why. Keep asking the question, why buy anywhere else?
Tullahoma moves 54 yards in 6 plays, using 2.5 minutes off the clock, and the Wildcats lead it 14-0 here in the first quarter. Chadwick's kick deep into the end zone for the touchback. Everything working for the Wildcats so far, Ken.
No doubt about it, Scott. As you said, a perfect start. The Wildcats 2 touchdowns at 5:29. 3 and out and 1 yard defensively on this Creekwood offense that struggles. So I'm not saying it's panic time yet for the Red Hawks, but maybe not too far from it.
Well, I would say you really need a first down here on this
no
drive.
doubt.
Tullahoma's defensive line, Cam Robinson, Zach Swagger, Ethan Anderson, Brody Melton, maybe a little Colton Proctor in there. Stevens to throw, pass complete, nice catch. So they get their first down. That's complete to Andrew Bruce, and it's a Creekwood first down.
Well, that's what they're going to have to do. They had a near miss on the last drive to one of their wide receivers that was open. So, as we watch this game unfold, we do see some receivers that have some separation. He's just going to have to, he being Stevens, the quarterback for Creekwood's got to put the ball on target.
Gain of 19 on the pass to Bruce. And so the Red Hawks have it, 1st and 10 at their 39. Stevens now in the shotgun, wants to throw, wants to go long. That pass is complete as the Tullahoma defender, Landon Fouch, went to the ground. And there's your guy, Jamison Ford.
Yeah, good size. The sophomore that we mentioned, 6'2". He was a difference maker last year. It's hard for freshmen to make impact, but this young man did last year. So Bruce, who caught the last pass, was an all-region performer in 2020, and they've got this hot-shot sophomore, Jamison Ford. He's looking for a big game tonight.
Gain of 32 on the pass from Stevens to Ford. Timeout on the field. 4:47 to go in the first quarter. Tullahoma leads 14-0 on the Light Tube Sports Network.
Prescott Bottling and Distributing, along with the Sundrop Shop, are proud supporters of the Wildcats football team. Located on Northwest Atlantic Street in the heart of Tullahoma, Prescott Bottling and Distributing has been delivering local favorites to stores in the area for 4 generations. The Sundrop Shop, located next door, is open from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. Tuesday through Saturday, serving a full menu of homemade recipes. The Sundrop Shop is available for special events or catering. Visit us online at sundropshop.net.
Creekwood has found a little soft spot in Tullahoma's secondary and exploited that for 51 yards over the last 2 plays. The Red Hawks have it, first down and 10 at the Tullahoma 29. Stevens, little screen pass, wide receiver screen. Tullahoma works against that in practice every day. And that's to Jaden Elliott, and Elliott may have gotten back to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, it looks like Tullahoma has seen that play in practice. You know, that's the play we execute to Dixon every game. So, yeah, Tullahoma Wildcats corners make a good play on that one.
Gain of 1, second down and 9, Creekwood at the Tullahoma 29. Wildcat linebackers are Caden Tucker, Jackson Sheffield, Stroop, Will Parton, and Jacob Dixon are the safeties. Second down and 9, Creekwood. Stevens, handoff Harris. Harris tries to go outside. Just not going to run against this Tullahoma defense outside. Harris got a couple.
Well, that's going to set up a 3rd and long here for Creekwood.
There's a flag on the play. It is a chop block against Creekwood, so that's going to hurt. I think Tullahoma will push them back. That's a 15-yarder. So that run won't count. First penalty of the night. Chop block against the Red Hawks.
It comes at the 3:55 mark of the first quarter. The Wildcats have already pounced on the Red Hawks for 2 touchdowns, 14-zip. That's going to set up, looks like 2nd and 30.
25 at the Tullahoma 44-yard line for the Red Hawks. 2nd and 25. Tullahoma leads 14-0. Stevens to throw. Stevens looks left. His pass is almost intercepted by Parton. He had it in his hands. Couldn't hold it as he fought going to the ground with Jamison Ford. Nice play by Parton. It's 3rd down.
Yeah, excellent defense by the Wildcats there. Double coverage. Stevens threw that ball into double coverage, trying to force it into Ford. He almost came up with it, as did Parton. So they had a fight for the ball on that one. It falls harmlessly incomplete.
And once again, the opposition has a 6'4 receiver, and Tullahoma can match that with a 6'4 safety.
There you go.
Creekwood, 3rd and 25 at the Wildcat 44. Stevens in the shotgun. Pistol with Harris behind him. Straight drop. Here comes pressure. Stevens going to have to run it on 3rd and 25. He got a yard. Fine tackle on the far side by Stroop, I believe.
Yep, you called it right, Stroop on the tackle. And, effectively the chop block killed that drive for the Red Hawks. So a critical penalty there, self-inflicted wound for the Red Hawks. Lots of moving. They moved that ball from the 20-yard line. Had a couple long completions of 51 yards, and then the drive stalls after the big penalty.
3:14 to go in the first quarter. Creekwood to punt. Dixon standing at the Tullahoma 10. It's a good snap. Gets the kick away. Nice tight spiral that Dixon lets go, and it's going to take a fantastic roll for Creekwood at the 3-yard line. Beautiful 40-yard punt.
Well, let's take his thing 97 yards.
Okay. So Tullahoma will have it. 1st and 10. Let's see. The spot is actually, at the 3. So the Wildcats do have 97 yards to go. 2:56 remaining here in the first quarter. Next week, we will be back home. It is homecoming next Friday night at Wilkins Stadium. The Pearl Cone Firebirds will visit in a big Region 5 4A contest. And Tullahoma now with Scott at quarterback, Cummings the tailback, Anderson, the H-back. Here's Cummings, straight up the gut. Cummings drags one man, two men. Cummings brought down near the 15-yard line. He's got close to a first down.
Yeah, punishing blocking up front by that pancake posse, and he just drops his pads and follows those big guys ahead. So he marches out for an excellent gain there, setting up a 2nd and 1.
Picked up 10. It is a Wildcat first down. So Cummings with a 10-yard run gets Tullahoma out to the 13, and the Cats will set it up. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. The H-back is on the left side. Scott Cummings, the diesel. Boom, runs over 1, 2. Finally, the third man gets him at the 24-yard line. A quick burst of 9.
Well, when we were talking to the Creekwood radio man pregame, Colin Castleberg, we talked about, hey, number 18's a big physical back, Keyshawn Cummings. You got to watch out for him tonight. He goes, I've never heard of him. He watched film of us and noticed other guys, but not Keyshawn. You can't miss the diesel, Scott.
10 yards on that run. It's another Wildcat first down. 2 consecutive plays of 10-yard runs by Keyshawn Cummings. Scott to throw. Scott being chased out of the pocket. There's a flag on the play. I think Tullahoma's going to get called for a hold here. That's where the flag was thrown, where that's often called. The play made it to the 25, so Scott picked up 2 on the run, but it's going to be nullified.
Well, impressed with the Wildcats early, Scott. This 2-hour drive, sometimes 110 miles. Long road trip like this can, kind of, you can get off the bus sleepwalking, but they came to play tonight. They look sharp, running the ball well, offensive line blocking really good, and they seem to have it going right now. Defense looks sharp as well.
2nd down and 22 for the Wildcats at the Tullahoma 11-yard line after the holding penalty. Of course, it's a spot foul from wherever the hold happened. So Tullahoma 2nd and long. And there's a flag on the play. Play is stopped just before it runs. An illegal procedure against the Wildcats. So Tullahoma self-destructing a little here.
Yeah, they blew that ball out from the shadow of their goal line after that excellent punt down to the 3 by Creekwood, so they're going backwards now. So going to have to work their way out of a hole here. Somebody's got to make a big play here to get a first down.
Yeah, a hole is in 2nd and 27. Although I'm not sure how Tullahoma lost a down on a holding call and an illegal procedure. It's supposed to be first down. Scott in the backfield. Hands it off to Cummings. Cummings looking for a hole. It's a little gap out close to the 10. Tullahoma not wanting a mistake here in this slippery football field deep in their own territory. They'll spot it at the 9, a gain of 3.
Clock winds in the first quarter, 45 seconds left.
3rd and 24. Wildcats at the Tullahoma 9. And the Wildcats split 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Scott straight to drop, looks to throw. Across the middle, it's incomplete. Joe Duncan, and Ken Duncan's got the yips.
Yeah, beautiful pass, just a slant pattern across the middle. It trickles through his hands at the 25-yard line. Ryan Scott put the ball right on the money there. Got to come up with that one.
4th and 24 at the 9. Tullahoma will punt the football.
Perfect play call. They just put trips to the right, 3 wide receivers, and cut Duncan across the middle. We just missed a connection on it.
I still think the Wildcats lost a down in that sequence somewhere. High snap over Justice Chadwick's head for a safety. Boy, that brings back bad memories, Ken. That's what happened against Nolensville in the playoffs last year.
Well, you wonder, the wet field, if, when they put the ball down, how wet the football is right now, because that center's putting the ball on the ground, the quarterback's touching it. But not making excuses, but Duncan's had a couple uncharacteristic drops, and then we have the sailed snap there.
So Tullahoma will kick it, Tullahoma will kick it off with 12 seconds to go in the first quarter. The Cats lead it 14-2 on the Light Tube Sports Network.
Touchdown!
So Tullahoma can choose whether to punt it or kick it off, and not surprisingly, Justice Chadwick's going to kick it off. We'll see if Justice get the touchback from here. No, it's a high kick. It's going to be a problem. It's caught at the 30. It's to the 35. Boom. Great special teams tackle by Jackson Sheffield at the 36-yard line. That's where Creekwood will have it, trailing 14-2.
Well, Tullahoma started out that drive well, but, a couple penalties. They started at the 3, worked the ball on out, a couple first downs, and then, bam, penalty. They go back to the 6, and then they get held on a third down run, forced to punt.
Yeah, both teams kind of self-destructed on penalties that possession.
Sail the snap through the end zone. So Creekwood will not be shut out a third game in a row. They have 2 points on the board here in the first quarter.
And the Red Hawks have excellent field position at their 37-yard line. First down and 10, Creekwood. Stevens has Ford split to the left, looking for him all the way. There's the pass for Ford. It's incomplete, and he draws that defensive pass interference, Ken. He just fell down.
Well,
I was watching him the whole way. He just fell down.
Dixon, the closest Wildcat in the area, so as you said, a slip, but they're going to call a pass interference, the PI on the Wildcats. That's going to end this first quarter.
Wasn't a slip. He fell down on purpose to draw the penalty. The first quarter is over. Well, we're going to have to play another play because there's a penalty. So Creekwood's going to have it, first down and 10. I think it'll be inside Wildcat territory from the 37. Should be at the Wildcat 48-yard line. As now the first quarter will come to an end with the marking of the penalty. We've played one here. Kind of an odd last couple of minutes. Tullahoma leads Creekwood 14-2 on the Light Tube Sports Network.
Serving you as a local firefighter. Proudly served our country in the United States Air Force. Serving Tullahoma. Helping our kids.
Hi, I'm Terry Stroop. Your comfort is our service. We'd like to thank Tullahoma for the privilege of serving your heating and cooling needs.
So Tullahoma leading Creekwood 14-2 as we begin the second quarter. The Wildcats now moving right to left.
Let's kind of recap that first quarter. Give you a plus to Tullahoma for the early score. They've their first 3 games, they've not scored a point in the first quarter. They scored on the opening drive here tonight. Run blocking for Tullahoma has been outstanding early. The rush defense for Tullahoma has been very good. Pass defense, not so good.
So the Red Hawks trailing by 12 here as we begin the second quarter. We'll have it first and 10 at Tullahoma 48. Wildcats have Chris Usselton in at a cornerback. Our first look at him tonight. And Stevens will go under center, I formation. Old school right here. Stevens, pitch back to the tailback. Following his blockers, this is Harris. Harris fights all the way down to the Tullahoma 40, a gain of 9.
Yeah, nice run there by the running back for the Red Hawks. That's Harris, described as a gamer in the Murphy Fair synopsis of Red Creek.
Creekwood.
Or Creekwood, yes.
Red
Creekwood.
Hawks.
Four-year starter. Four-year starter for
gain of
the
8
Red
that
Hawks.
time for Harris. Second down and 2. Creekwood at the Tullahoma 40. Red Hawks starting to figure the Wildcat defense out a little bit. And Stevens will hand again to Harris. And Harris, I don't know if he got that first down or not. Needed 2. If he got it, that's all he got.
Oh, you're right, Scott. That last rush, their best one of the night by far.
And it is a Creekwood first down. So spotted at the Tullahoma 38. Tullahoma leads 14-2. 10:50 left to go first half.
Oh, Creekwood with a little momentum after that safety. They get on the scoreboard. Now the offense is on the move.
Yeah, one mistake can really cost you.
Mm-hmm.
Stevens in the shotgun. Stevens hands it off on the end around to Harris, and Harris didn't get around the end as Caden Tucker dropped him in the backfield.
Yeah, sure did. Tucker with some help there from number 6, Stroop. Wildcats defense needs to bow up here.
Loss of 1, 2nd and 11, Creekwood. At the 39.
Well, passing situation for the Red Hawks. Let's see who they go to and target on this one.
Ford is wide to the right, being guarded by Usselton with some help from Parton. Harris comes in motion. Stevens rolls to the right. He's running all the way, and he's got a lane. Stevens just lowers his head at the 30, makes his way down to the 28. Close to a first down.
Yeah, you're right. Just kind of a little rollout, but he took that ball early. No doubt he made his decision. It was run all the way, and nice run there by the athletic quarterback for Creekwood.
Needed 11. He got 11. Creekwood first down and 10 at the Tullahoma 28. And Creekwood has taken the momentum here in this game, second quarter.
No doubt.
Red Hawks split 2 receivers to the left with Ford in the slot. We mentioned him because he's been a difference maker. Back to throw, Stevens. Looking forward all the way. That pass is knocked down by Jacob Dixon and almost intercepted.
Yeah, he had that one, another one in his hands. These Wildcats, they need to find some stickum at halftime. Missed opportunity, interception right there on that one.
So Creekwood 2nd and 10 at the Tullahoma 28. With 9:14 left to go. Cats on top 14-2.
Ill-advised pass by Jacob Stevens.
Stevens under center. Option. Stevens pitches. Not much room there for the Creekwood running back Harris.
Well, the Wildcats stuck him on that one. You could hear the helmets popping on that play.
Harris gets from the 28 to the 24, so a gain of 4.
Nice pursuit and gang tackling by the Wildcats D.
3rd and 6, Creekwood, with 8:40 left to go in the half. Big third down here in Dixon County, Tennessee. We're in Charlotte. Stevens back to throw. No pressure. Pass over the middle, complete to Ford at the 15, and Ford down to the 12. That's another Creekwood first down.
Well, Ford used his big frame, his 6'2" frame on that one. Just a nice route, made a quick cut. He turned, shielded the defender off with his body, passed right on target. He threw it right out of his break. So excellent pass and catch by Creekwood.
First down and 10 at the Tullahoma 10. Red Hawks trying to inch closer here. Stevens, handoff, fullback, nothing. The old dive play for DeMonte Evans there, nowhere to go.
Yeah, big Cam got him that time, Cam Robinson. He's played well on that defensive line early in the season. He stuffs that play.
Tullahoma's going to need to bow up here, or they're going to find themselves in a dogfight with a 1-3 team. Wildcats not playing inspired defense right now. Stevens in the shotgun. It ball's on the ground. I think Stevens got it back, but he's going to lose a couple of yards. Tullahoma says, we got it, and the Cats do have it. The Wildcats do have it. You'll have to try to figure out who got it, Ken, but Tullahoma got it.
2 or 3 guys down on the ball. Kind of a delayed call by the referees. I thought Creekwood initially had gotten on it. The running back, the quarterback both fall, but the Wildcats come up with the first turnover of the football game. At the 7-17 mark, to snuff out a promising drive there by the Redhawks.
So Tullahoma will take over. With 7:17 to go in the half. Spot it at the 15-yard line. Scott back to throw. Wide open over the middle is Melton. Melton to the 50, to the 35, to the 40. Melton, Brody Melton with a Wildcat first down, a 50-yard pass.
Wow, that was an excellent pitch and catch just right down the seam there. Scott to Melton, so that's a sudden change play right there. I love the play call on first down after the fumble recovery. Just a nice dart there by Scott to hit his big tight end, and the big man rumbles down to the 40-yard line, 39-yard line of Creekwood.
46 yards on the pass from Scott to Melton. Sheffield is the tailback. Sheffield gets it. Sheffield with a little stutter step, spins down to the 35.
Well, what a difference 3 plays make. 3 plays ago, Creekwood had a first down on the 10-yard line, essentially a first and goal. They fumble the ball. Tullahoma hits a long strike, 46-yard pass, and now we're on their 35-yard line.
Sheffield picked up 4, second down and 6, Tullahoma, with 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Scott's going to keep it. His quarterback run all the way, and Scott lost his footing. Just really nowhere to go on that play tonight so far.
Yeah, despite the slip, they had that play diagnosed. They being Creekwood, and left defensive end made a good play there. Nowhere really for Scott to run on that one.
So a loss of 1 brings up 3rd and 7 at the Creekwood 36. Cats lead at 14-2, 5:40 left to go in the half. Scott with 3 receivers bunched to the right side. 3rd and 7. He rolls that way. Here comes some pressure. Scott throws it. That pass is incomplete. On the far sideline, it's 4th down.
Well, from here it would be essentially a 53-yard field goal, so probably too long of an attempt here. Tullahoma, no matter what happens on this 4th down play, they may elect to punt. We'll see if they go for it or not. They've definitely flipped field position on that big 46-yard pass from Scott to Melton.
5:28 to go in the half. Tullahoma will go for it. 4th down and 7 at the Creekwood 36. Duncan, Dixon, Melton split to the left. Grizzard to the right. Scott drops back, has time. Scott looking for somebody, and now he's going to tuck it and run on 4th down, and that's just not going to get it. Gain of 3 or 4 for Scott, but Tullahoma turns it over.
It's almost like Creekwood kept a spy on Scott at middle linebacker on that one because, with that much time, you think everybody bails out and runs down the field to cover a receiver. Tullahoma had at least 4 receivers on that play out on routes, but the middle linebacker stayed home and made a good play whenever Scott tried to attempt to rush for the first down.
So Creekwood stops Tullahoma on its 4th down attempt, and with 5:18 to go in the half, the Redhawks will take over at the Wildcat 30 at the Creekwood 33-yard line. Here is Harris, and Harris got 4.
Well, I agree with the call for the Wildcats to go for that. You know, you're on the 36-yard line. If you punt it through the end zone, it nets you only 16 yards. So defense is just going to have to bow up here. You know, Coach Olive and staff have showed confidence in this defense. They haven't allowed a touchdown yet this game or any points. The 2 points for Creekwood came on a special team safety on a snap over the punter's head. So we just got to get our bearings here, recollect ourselves. 14-2, we're still in control.
Creekwood, 2nd down and 6 at the Red Hawk 37. Stevens pitches it to Harris. Harris, nothing. I mean, Tullahoma's defense, led by Brandon Painter there, just snuffed that one out, and Harris slow getting up.
Yeah, that pursuit again. The Wildcats quick to the ball. They've got 11 guys running to the football on defense. They're tough. Some tough hombres out there.
3rd down and 6. Creekwood, 4:05 left to go in the half. Tullahoma on top by 12.
Scoreless second quarter so far, but Scott, both teams have hit some big plays and made some good drives.
There's been a lot of offense.
Yeah, but no points this quarter.
Costly penalties by both teams. 3rd and 7 for the Red Hawks. Stevens, straight drop. Here comes pressure, sacked. Caden Bradford and Brandon Painter sack Stevens for a big loss.
Well, that's nice, and that's going to set up a punt here. 3:31. Tullahoma has plenty of time. They have all 3 timeouts left, and we've really seen what they've done the last 15 games, 16 games on 2-minute drill, 2-minute offense before the half. They've been outstanding.
So Creekwood will punt it away, allegedly, on 4th and 14. It's a low spiral kick that bounces and dies at the 32-yard line of the Wildcats. So almost a 40-yard punt. Tullahoma's defense has been very impressive tonight.
Yes, they have. Yeah, they've given up a few plays. Run defense has been exceptional. They had that one little run option by the quarterback that he rushed for a nice gain. But other than that, we've stymied their running backs pretty good. And they've got some good receivers, so a pretty decent passing game we're facing tonight.
So the Wildcats have an opportunity to put some more points on the board before the half. 2:59 to go. 1st and 10, Tullahoma at the Cats' 32. Robinson now in on that offensive line. He and Crouch are the tackles. 2 receivers, 3 to the right, 1 to the left. Scott, handoff Sheffield. Jackson slithering out to the 35, and there's a flag on the play. Well, Tullahoma continues to hurt itself with penalties on offense. This is a block in the back against the Wildcats. Don't usually see that on a 3-yard run, but that's a 15-yarder. Well, a 10-yarder. So the Cats looking at 1st and 20 from the Tullahoma 22. 3 receivers wide to the left. With Scott in the shotgun. There's that wide receiver screen to Duncan. It's incomplete.
Yeah, rarity, no doubt. Joe having trouble picking that ball up tonight. 2:37 to go here, 2nd and long. That's a play that's worked for Tullahoma, that little slip screen, that jailbreak screen.
Over and over and
over again. Just got to catch it first. Sometimes you can lose concentration. Got to catch before you run.
2:37 to go in the half. Cats on top, 14-2. Tullahoma 2nd and 20 at the Wildcat 22-yard line. Here's a handoff, Sheffield. Sheffield has little room there. May have gotten a yard.
Yeah, Sheffield had some nice early runs in the first quarter, but that interior defense has tightened up for the Red Hawks here in the second quarter on the rush defense.
Timeout Creekwood. 2:28 to go in the half. Tullahoma leads 14-2 on the Light Tube Sports Network.
Citizens Tri-County Bank has the checking, loans, savings, and traditional banking services you want. Plus free internet banking and bill pay, bank your change, Visa gift card, and lots more state-of-the-art banking services. We focus on the service and services you want. So you can bank when, where, and how you want, at our offices or from just about anywhere. Citizens Tri-County Bank, the only community bank you'll ever need.
Tullahoma has it 3rd down and 20 at the Wildcat 22, leading 14-2. Scott to throw, lots of time. Scott looks, and he's going to pull it down and run. Scott runs it out of bounds. Maybe got back close to the line of scrimmage, and there's flags, late flags on the play.
Yeah, there was a very late block on the Tullahoma sidelines about the time that Scott scampered out of bounds, and then a flag came from a long ways off, thrown in that area. And Tullahoma getting sloppy, going backwards on offense a couple series here tonight. So they've kind of, the run defense has gotten tighter. Creekwood, give them credit. They played better defense after those first 2 quick touchdown scores for Tullahoma, but Tullahoma helping Creekwood with these offensive penalties.
Yeah, I struggle to understand why we're not just running the ball. Sloppy field. Scott is not having success running the ball. And, Cummings and Sheffield certainly have. So let's see what Houston Thiel wants to do here. On this penalty, I expect he will decline it, and it'll be 4th down. So the 10-yard run by Scott stands up, but Tullahoma has it now 4th and 10 at the Wildcat 32, and Chadwick to punt.
2:15 still left on the clock. Let's see what happened. Need a good snap here.
Creekwood's points came on a snap over Chadwick's head, and Chadwick gets off a booming spiral that is caught on a fair catch at the 29-yard line. So that's a 41-yard punt for Justice Chadwick. And let's see if Creekwood opens it up here in their own territory, trailing 14-2. With just over 2 minutes to play in the first half.
And they do have 1 timeout left.
Remember, after the game, I'll talk with Wildcat head coach John Olive on the field. Stay here for that, win or lose. 1st and 10, Redhawks. Stevens rolls right, little screen pass incomplete. And there's a flag on the play, Ken. That man was behind the line of scrimmage. You can't have pass interference behind the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, they're going to call that on Owen Stroop, but you may have a valid point there. We don't have instant replay up here to see exactly where he was, but I trust your eyes on that one, whatever you saw.
We'll watch the officials gather and hopefully get the call here at some point. Pass interference, Tullahoma, wow.
Well, Tullahoma's been the victim of a couple PIs tonight. They do have 1 fumble recovery turnover. They need to get a turnover here to end this half.
You just don't see pass interference on screen passes. Why? Because the receiver's often behind the line of scrimmage. 2 minutes to go. Creekwood 1st and 10 at the Red Hawk 44. Stevens wants to drop back, and he is sacked. Never had a chance. I tell you, Brandon Painter's having himself a night, Ken. Number 40 with the sack there.
Yeah, just a blitz by number 40. So the Wildcat defensive coordinator dials up some pressure on that 1st down play right there on the drop back pass, and Stevens is sacked. So a big loss there of 7 yards. Nice play by Painter.
2nd down and 16, Creekwood at their 38-yard line with 1:20 left to go in the half. Stevens drops back. Now here comes pressure. He's going to run it. May have gotten back to the original line of scrimmage, so a gain of about 6 for Stevens.
What's a popping on that one?
Yeah, they'll spot it at the 42, so give Stevens 4 yards, call it third and, well, now they're going to spot it at the 44. So give him 6, third and 10 at the 44-yard line.
1:12 left in the first half. Wildcats lead the Redhawks 14-2.
Pretty unimpressive first half by the Tullahoma Wildcats, just to be honest.
Yeah, after those first 2 drives. I mean, they score on their opening drive and have some big plays, take a 14-zip lead. Really, that safety, the snap, that's when the game changed really for us. And we've been having trouble offensively ever since, just going backwards. And
we were talking about the possibility of a mercy clock, a running clock at the end of at the beginning of the second half. Tullahoma's up 14-0 halfway through the first quarter. You usually see these kind of games go that way, but give Creekwood a lot of credit, Ken. They've stayed in here and fought, and you feel like they're in the game.
Yeah, they're fighting, no doubt about it.
So 3rd and 11 Redhawks at the 44-yard line of Creekwood. 1:12 left to go in the first half. Stevens in the gun, straight drop. Here comes pressure. Stevens being chased out of the pocket, and Stevens eludes about 3 tacklers before he's finally brought down by Brody Melton.
Yeah, Melton swallowed him up on that one. Nice tackle there, sure tackle by Brody Melton. At the 101 mark, we're going to force a punt.
It's 4th and long for Creekwood, loss of 1.
Looked like a quarterback's draw there, just not much time. Tullahoma's defensive line and these blitzes by the Tullahoma linebackers wreaking havoc.
101 left to go in the first half. This is the Light Tube Sports Network.
Did you know that Tullahoma Utilities Authority has a solar farm right here in Tullahoma? For as little as $4 a month, you can support solar energy production and breathe a little easier, knowing you're taking positive action to reduce your carbon footprint. Call 455-4515.
Well, Tullahoma's setting up the return here.
Chris Usselton and Jacob Dixon back for the Wildcats as Creekwood prepares to punt on 4th and 11.
Yeah, rarely does
Dropped
Tullahoma put
the ball
2 back.
and kicked it about 5 feet in the air, and Creekwood touches it, and Tullahoma's going to have great field position. Tullahoma's picked it up and is running it back. There's a flag on the play. Tullahoma is going to run it into the end zone for the touchdown, but let's see what the flag is. I think that's Malik Grizzard. I have to try to pick up the number here.
So a shank punt by Creekwood, and what happened was one of their linemen just batted the ball. I think it's going to be dead where he batted it, but Tullahoma picked it up, ran it back for a touchdown. Well, I think the officials are confused on this one.
Well, I'm not so sure they're confused. They just got to determine, okay, this offensive lineman touched the ball. Where did he touch it?
Yeah.
How much time was left? And all that sort of thing. Tullahoma's going to have great field position. Now, one thing you don't see in high school football is putting time back on the clock for a play that didn't count.
Yeah.
And that Tullahoma run back didn't count. It just wasted valuable time. They should have stopped the play as soon as the Creekwood offensive lineman touched the football, right?
Well, they punted from the 43, so they didn't touch the ball behind the line of scrimmage, so I don't know if it's illegal touching. I think when he batted the ball around the 47-yard line, it should be down right there.
Down, and the play should have stopped.
It should be blown dead right there.
But instead, the penalty is going to go against Tullahoma. And I think Creekwood may keep the ball here. Wow, what a weird ending to the half. And I think you're right, Ken. I'm going to go back and remove the credit I just gave the officials. They're confused.
Let's see the final outcome, what the final verdict is here. Nonetheless, 49 seconds left. I don't think they'll put time on the clock. As you said, Tullahoma did run some seconds off. On a return, it's not going to stand for sure, I don't believe.
Again, there was a shank kick. It hit the ground and bounced into a Creekwood lineman. Tullahoma picked it up and ran it in for a touchdown, but there was a flag on the play, And the discussion is still going on between the officials because there's a lot to unpack right there.
Well, I think once they bat the ball, it's dead because it's not a fumble. It's the offensive team. It's past the line of scrimmage, so it should just be marked dead at the 47-yard line.
That's what we think.
Yeah, that's what we think, but who knows?
But it obviously is not that simple.
Yeah.
At least on the field. 49 seconds remaining. Tullahoma leading Creekwood 14-2. This game has been much closer than anyone anticipated. Anyone in Tullahoma anyway.
Now, if the Creekwood lineman touched the ball behind the line of scrimmage, it could be constituted perhaps as a fumble. Okay, but since it's past the line of scrimmage, I think it's a dead ball right there.
Let's get the ruling right now, I think. They're going to go talk to Creekwood coach Houston Thiel. That tells me there's a flag on Tullahoma. Nope. Illegal batting against Creekwood.
Yeah, legal touching.
Personal foul against Tullahoma. Those penalties will offset. Replay fourth down.
After all that, we just got a redo on the punt, right? Oh, you mentioned Houston Thiel, the head coach for Creekwood. We learned in pregame that he was the very first quarterback in the history of Creekwood football. So he's come back to in his fifth year here coaching the Red Hawks.
Yeah, this school opened in 2002. That's an interesting story. So they're still trying to figure out where to put the football. I think it should be about the 44-yard line. 43 maybe.
Looks like a circus out there. Refs throwing balls to each other, dropping them.
So they do actually add time back on the clock.
Sure did.
They put it to 56 seconds.
They did put 7 seconds back on there.
Creekwood's going to punt it again. Let's make them pay for it.
Cat setting up for the return. Two deep guys.
Tullahoma needs a spark. They seem lethargic.
Yep.
Not a lot of excitement. There's the snap. Punt is away. It's a nice kick. Dixon lets it bounce and then goes out of bounds at about the 25-yard line.
Well, the outcome a lot better for Creekwood on that punt.
Yeah.
The shank punt started all that confusion.
Nothing but a waste of time. So Tullahoma's got 47 seconds. Cats will have to decide whether they want to try to go for something or take it to the clubhouse here. You got to feel like that there'll be a lot of discussions at halftime. I'll put it that way.
And the Red Hawks will receive the second half kickoff.
Tullahoma splits three receivers to the left, one to the right. Sheffield the tailback. Scott from the shotgun, straight drop, plenty of protection. Wants to go long down the field to Chris Hustleton. Caught at the 35-30, 25-20, 15-10, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Give him 6. Touchdown, Tullahoma. 75 yards.
Unbelievable. You will not see a better bomb than that. Down the right sideline, basketball player, all-district basketball player the last 2 years, Chris Hustleton, turned wide receiver, speed burner down the Wildcat sidelines. You was calling for a big play. How's that for a big play?
That's
to
good.
Spark these Wildcats.
That's good.
Beautiful.
That's real good.
Best pass of the year there for Ryan Scott. Beautiful long bomb.
Tullahoma lines up the point after with Tomlin to snap, Parton to hold, Chadwick to kick. Kick is up. Splits the uprights. 34 seconds to play in the half. Tullahoma 21, Creekwood 2. This is the Light Tube Sports Network.
Never miss your favorite shows again. For an additional $12 a month, along with your digital television service, LightTube Cloud DVR lets you record up to 8 programs at the same time. Receive 500 gigabytes of cloud storage and whole home DVR. Call TUA Customer Service to add LightTube Cloud DVR to your digital television service today at 455-4515.
Tullahoma drives 75 yards, one play. Ryan Scott to Chris Usselton, probably about half of that through the air, and the rest on the legs of Usselton. And Chadwick to kick off now with Tullahoma leading 21-2, 34 seconds to play in the first half.
Backbreaker for the Red Hawks. You cannot that the offensive wide receiver get behind you in that situation.
Well, as we've said, as Chadwick's kick goes into the end zone, as we've been saying for 2 years now, that is, Tullahoma gets the ball with 2.5 minutes to go in the half.
Yeah,
they're scoring.
Well, there's another example of it. You're exactly right. Yeah, we talked about that, and, man, their success rate, if you just go back and watch the film, 13 games last year, now 4 this year, and, the last 17 games, what they've done in the last 2 minutes is magical, the half.
Absolutely. It'll sure help that locker room tonight, I can promise you.
No doubt. I mean, get Big Mo going into the locker room.
Stevens hands it off straight up the middle to his fullback, DeMonte Evans. That tells you what Creekwood's going to do. They're going to take it to the house. They don't have to run another play, and they won't. The first half has come to a close here. We've played 24 minutes at Creekwood High School. Tullahoma with 2 quick early touchdowns and a late second quarter touchdown. And at the half, the Wildcats lead the Creekwood Redhawks 21-2. You're watching Tullahoma Wildcat football on the LightTube Sports Network.
Serving you as a local firefighter. Proudly served our country and the United States Air Force. Serving Tullahoma. Helping our kids.
Hi, I'm Terry Stroop. Your comfort is our service. We'd like to thank Tullahoma for the privilege of serving your heating and cooling needs.
Prescott Bottling and Distributing, along with the Sundrop Shop, are proud supporters of the Wildcats football team. Located on Northwest Atlantic Street in the heart of Tullahoma, Prescott Bottling and Distributing has been delivering local favorites to stores in the area for 4 generations. The Sundrop Shop, located next door, is open from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. Tuesday through Saturday, serving a full menu of homemade recipes. The Sundrop Shop is available for special events or catering. Visit us online at sundropshop.net.
Shop was voted Member's Choice Small Business of the Year by the Tullahoma Area Chamber of Commerce for 2016, and we work daily to earn that award from every one of our customers. We specialize in using the most current technology available, including environmentally friendly waterborne paint. We work with all insurance companies and will gladly help you with any insurance claims or questions you may have. Call us at 931-455-2570 or come by our new office located at 606 South Jefferson Street. Be sure to look for the bright red
Football time, and Tennessee and nobody tackles the competition like the Russell Barnett Automotive family. With 6 locations to serve you, certified collision center, over 1,000 new and pre-owned vehicles to choose from at russellbarnett.com, hometown auto rental, limited lifetime powertrain warranty on certain units, certified pre-owned units. Too many reasons to mention why. Keep asking the question, why buy anywhere else?
Scored on its first 2 possessions. The Wildcats drove 57 yards and 54 yards, scoring on first a 13-yard pass from Ryan Scott to Jacob Dixon, and then a 2-yard pass from Ryan Scott to Brody Melton. Tullahoma comfortably had a 14-0 lead until right at the end of the first quarter, when on a 4th down punt, 4th and 24 from the Tullahoma 9, punter Justice Chadwick had the snap go over his head, and it rolled through the end zone for a safety. So the first quarter ended with Tullahoma leading 14-2. Basically scoreless through the second quarter. 3 and outs. Tullahoma went for it once on 4th down, didn't make it. A lot of penalties, a lot of mistakes. Tullahoma took advantage of a mistake by Creekwood, a short punt. And on 1st and 10 from their own 25, with 34 seconds to go in the half, Ryan Scott connected with Chris Usselton on a 75-yard touchdown pass. That's where we sit, 21-2. Tullahoma. Scott, 5 of 11 through the air for 170 yards and 3 touchdowns. Those touchdowns caught by Dixon, Melton, and Usselton. On the ground, Cummings 6 carries, 42 yards. Sheffield 5 for 39. Tullahoma 14 rushes for 94 yards. Total offense, Tullahoma 25 rushes, 25 plays, 266 yards. Tell you, a 75-yard play, Kim, will up that yardage per play average significantly.
No doubt about it, but I love the aggressiveness of the Tullahoma offensive coordinators in that situation. Things had not went too well in the second quarter after those 2 drives to start the game to put Tullahoma up 14-0. Kind of a sloppy second quarter offensively, self-destructing with penalties, kind of imploding a little bit. But you dial up, you're at 47 seconds. Jared and Caleb Olive, Tullahoma co-offensive coordinators, dial up a bomb with 47 seconds left. They hit it. So, instead of running the clock out there, big back-breaking play before the half, and the Cats go up 21-2 into the halftime intermission.
And that's where we sit, 21-2 at halftime. We'll talk with Wildcat head coach John Olive after the game. Other games in Region 5-4A are going about as expected. Pearl Cone leads Lawrence County 34-0 at the half. Marshall County leads Hillwood 34-0 at the half. No score on Montgomery Central and Glencliff, probably 34-0 at the half. But here, Tullahoma leads Creekwood 21-2 at the half. Back with the third quarter after we tell you you're watching Tullahoma Wildcat football on the Light Tube Sports Network.
Light Tube specifically played into our mission when we separated from our parent company and became an employee stock ownership program. We had to be disconnected from a large network and exist on our own. We needed relatively high speed connectivity, which we got at about a 200% discount with Light Tube. Businesses can get beyond what most businesses in the country can get from Light Tube as far as internet connectivity.
So we're just about set to go with the third quarter here. Creekwood will receive the kickoff from Tullahoma. And let's see if the Wildcats come out here in the third quarter and play like the Tullahoma team we've seen for the first 3 weeks. And I say that, Ken, and they're up comfortably 21-2. It just doesn't feel like Tullahoma's good and sharp.
Well, that was one of the keys to victory was, number one, was 4 quarters. We had a fourth quarter collapse for 6 minutes, had a 21-zip lead last week against Marshall County and had a shutout going. And then they scored 3 touchdowns in a 6-minute span in the fourth quarter. So Tullahoma, wanting to avert that and learn a lesson from it, play a solid 4 quarters, and that's what they want to do, finish it strong in the second half.
So Tullahoma moving right to left here in the third quarter, kicks it off. And the touchback by Justice Chadwick.
Yeah, so, at the end of the first half, you talk about, Tullahoma stealing momentum. After that safety, 14 quick points by Tullahoma. The safety snapped over the kicker's head that Creekwood finally gets on the board at the end of the first quarter. And then, Tullahoma, that 75-yard bomb really gave them momentum going into the half. Let's see if they can capitalize on that here early in the third quarter.
Jacob Stevens under center for the Red Hawks. Stevens will hand it off to his fullback. That's DeMonte Evans, and Mr. Evans has nowhere to go.
Had a light mist fall at halftime, so this soggy field may be a little slicker even after that.
No gain on the play for Evans. Second down and 10.
Chris Usselton getting more and more playing time as each week goes by.
Usselton in there at corner. And Stevens from the shotgun. Wide receiver screen to Harris, and Harris gets buried by on cue. Chris Usselton. Well, that
75-yard, he's got to be excited, him and his family, over that play, just to highlight real top play to end the half for the Wildcats.
A loss of 4 on that pass. 3rd and 14 for Creekwood at their 16-yard line.
And another factor we talked about, look for in the second half, is avoid the injury bug. The Cats certainly, want to play physical in this second half, get out injury-free tonight with the homecoming showdown looming next week against the Pearl Cone Firebirds.
Stevens to throw. Bradford being held, no call. Pass is complete out to the 21 to Jaden Elliott, but far short of the first down.
Yeah, punishing strike there by Mr. Jacob Dixon, 15. Plowed him after that reception.
Gain of 5. It's 4th and 9, Creekwood at the Red Hawk 21. And Dixon back to receive the anticipated punt. On 4th and 9, just underway third quarter, Tullahoma leads 21-2. It's a fake punt. Here's a throwback to the punter. Tullahoma played this pretty well there. Creekwood's going to be stopped far short of the first down as the punter took the pass from the up man, and that just couldn't outrun that Tullahoma defense.
Just disastrous fake punt there by Creekwood Redhawks. Number 45, Ethan Anderson, held his own. Looked like he made the tackle over there on the Tullahoma sidelines to nowhere close to first down. So the first possession, the second half, goes 3 and out for the Redhawks, just like their first possession here in the second half. And fake punt fails. Tullahoma in business.
Great business at the Creekwood 21-yard line. Wow, that was a boneheaded call. I'm just going to say it. Scott back to throw. He's looking end zone. Pass out in the flat, incomplete, intended there for Sheffield. As Tullahoma tried to throw to the running back. I like to see that. Pass a little high, though, for Jackson. Second down.
Yeah, nice play call. They ran, Jackson Sheffield a wheel route out of the backfield to the pylon, the right corner of the end zone. That pass was overthrown, or if it had been lower, it could have been 6 points.
Tullahoma 2nd down and 10 at the Creekwood 21. Scott in the gun. Hands it to Sheffield. Sheffield in the middle of the field inside the 15 down to the 14, a gain of 7 for Jackson.
Well, that sets up a manageable third down situation. You know, Tullahoma has a weapon at kicker. We're not being able to see him attempt a field goal. He had a 46-yarder against Coffee County. He was out here at halftime getting extra work in on a sloppy, wet field, kicking 52-yarders.
Set 3rd and 4. Here's Sheffield going around the right side. Sheffield with a burst into the end zone. Touchdown, Tullahoma. Jackson Sheffield from 15 yards away.
Well, the Wildcats capitalized on that sudden change there. The failed punt, fake attempt by the Red Hawks bites them there. Tullahoma converts on the short field.
So with 9:15 to go in the third quarter, Justice Chadwick will line up for the point after. Tomlin the holder, snapper, Parton is the holder. There's the snap, the hold, the kick is good. 9:15 to go in the third. Tullahoma 28, Creekwood 2. This is the Light Tube Sports Network.
Furniture and Merchandise Outlet is a factory direct furniture store based here in Tennessee. Family owned and operated for 27 years, we promise you hometown service and the guaranteed best price in the state, every time. Come see our 30,000 square foot showroom with a warehouse to match, and we'll help you shop for every room in your home. Thank you, Tullahoma, for voting us Finest Furniture Store 3 years in a row. We look forward to many more.
Woods Family Dentistry understands you never get a second chance to make a good first impression, and your smile is an important part of that impression. That's why they put together the most experienced, friendly, and professional staff. Add to that the most sophisticated diagnostic and treatment technology available. The result is a winning smile so powerful you could break ice with it. Visit the smile experts at Glicken Woods Family Dentistry and let your smile be the first thing people notice about you. Glicken Woods Family Dentistry, glickenwoods.com, or find them on Facebook.
Tullahoma set to kick it off. The Wildcats drive 21 yards in 3 plays, scoring on a 15-yard run by junior Jackson Sheffield. And the Cats lead at 28-2. Well, that didn't take long. Tullahoma starts the third quarter just like they started the game. Aggressively putting points on the board. Chadwick just booms it 5 yards deep in the end zone. Every kick has been a touchback tonight by Justice Chadwick.
Well, yeah, it sure has, and that's going to be pivotal next week when we face Barry and Brown and Pearl Cone. Don't want to mention that too much. Still got a lot of ball game left here, but he is a weapon in the return game and one of the top athletes in the entire country. So going to have a packed house next Friday night. I'm already looking, Scott, forward to that homecoming game.
Are you?
I am, man. I can't wait.
I just take them one at a time, brother.
There you go. All
Creekwood
right.
lines it up at the 20. Stevens will hand it off to his fullback. Nope, Stevens kept it. Faked me out. Didn't fake the Wildcats out. Nice little lick there by Stroop on Stevens. So he picked up 5.
He dropped that noggin, and that was some serious helmet-to-helmet thumping going on right there. Creekwood's really abandoned their passing game. They have a couple wide receivers in their arsenal. Jamison Ford, number 9. We saw him in the first half make some good catches, along with Andrew Bruce, number 6.
Tullahoma's got Ethan Hargrove in at safety. And Stevens dropped the ball, and he's just buried at the line of scrimmage. It's 3rd down.
Yeah, big Logan Crouch in there on that play. And Logan rebroke his own bench press record recently for Tullahoma. It was 405 pounds. Logan Crouch benched 415 pounds, a new Tullahoma Wildcat record in the bench press. And his mom said his goal is 450 by the end of the year.
I can do 450.
How about that?
I can do 450 if I do 50, 10 times.
I can do 16-ounce sun drop curls.
All right, Creekwood's 3rd down and 5 at their 25. Tullahoma leads 28-2, 7:50 to go in the third quarter. Stevens to throw. Stevens wants to go long down the sideline. Intercepted. Fouch. Did he catch it? Yes. Fouch intercepts it for Tullahoma, and the Wildcats are in business.
Unbelievable play there. I thought Stevens outthrew everybody, certainly his wide receiver overthrew him by 5 yards. What an effort play. What an excellent catch by Landon Fouch as he lays out, dives for that ball on the sidelines, catches it with both arms outstretched. What a beautiful interception. You won't see one better than that.
Tullahoma, great field position at the 50-yard line with 7:41 to go in the third quarter. Wildcats trying to put the hammer down. Sheffield's in the backfield. 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Scott back to throw. He's looking long. He's throwing long. He's got a man long. Jacob Dixon complete. Dixon down at about the 2-yard line where the Cats are going to have it first and goal.
Love the play, Colin. You know, I referenced the aggressiveness of Jared and Caleb Olive at the end of the first half. They have another sudden change play after the Fouch interception. They throw another bomb. Dixon corrals it, brings it in inside the 5-yard line.
First down and goal to go, Wildcats at the 2. Sheffield, the running back. Scott, quarterback sneak. Scott, can he fall forward into the end zone? Yes. Touchdown, Tullahoma. Ryan Scott scores for the Wildcats.
Well, Tullahoma's come out hot. You see how important that is to score at the end of the first half and get momentum. Really, essentially, the offense for Creekwood lifeless. Tullahoma's defense dominates on the first possession. On defense, forces a 3 and out, and Tullahoma, with just like the first quarter, 2 quick scores. They get 2 quick scores here early in the third quarter.
Grant Chadwick will get an opportunity to kick this extra point, and Grant Chadwick's kick is up and good.
Booted it.
7:14 to play in the third. Tullahoma 35, Creekwood 2. This is the Light Tube Sports Network.
Prescott Bottling and Distributing, along with the Sundrop Shop, are proud supporters of the Wildcats football team. Located on Northwest Atlantic Street in the heart of Tullahoma, Prescott Bottling and Distributing has been delivering local favorites to stores in the area for 4 generations. The Sundrop Shop, located next door, is open from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. Tuesday through Saturday, serving a full menu of homemade recipes. The Sundrop Shop is available for special events or catering. Visit us online at sundropshop.net.
Citizens Tri-County Bank has the checking, loans, savings, and traditional banking services you want. Plus free internet banking and bill pay, bank your change, Visa gift card, and lots more state-of-the-art banking services. We focus on the service and services you want. So you can bank when, where, and how you want, at our offices or from just about anywhere. Citizens Tri-County Bank, the only community bank you'll ever need.
Tullahoma's jumped on Creekwood here with 2 quick touchdowns early in the third quarter. And now the Wildcats really a safety away from the mercy clock being activated. A 35-point lead in the second half activates the mercy clock in Tennessee high school football, and that means it only stops for touchdowns, injuries, and timeouts. Chadwick's kick's going to get this one returned here at the 2. And out to the 27 goes Creekwood, and that's where the Red Hawks will start.
Well, you know, those 2 touchdowns sandwiched between a beautiful interception by Landon Fouch on the sidelines. What an incredible play that was. Then Tullahoma goes deep, just, you know, that sudden change after a turnover or possession change. They go deep on the first play, long pass, long bomb, Scott to Dixon. Ryan Scott has looked good on that long bomb tonight.
He's had a really nice night.
Putting that thing on target, didn't he? Man, he was at 170 passing yards at the half, and he could have a 300-yard passing game before this thing's over.
We got a personal foul against Creekwood that is half the distance to the goal. So instead of having it at the 27-yard line, the Red Hawks, well, maybe it's a 10-yard penalty, they're going to have it at the 17. First down and 10, Creekwood. Red Hawks are 1 mistake away from the mercy clock. Stevens, little misdirection, the ball's on the ground. Still on the ground, picked up by Tullahoma's Cam Robinson. Robinson rumbles, stumbles, bumbles into the end zone. Touchdown!
Yes.
Tullahoma, Cam Robinson, number 71, picks up the fumble. right as I said, one mistake away from the mercy clock. Boom, there it is.
Right on time, man. That's beautiful timing right there. That big man lumbering in. Cam Robinson looking like big Albert Hainsworth lumbering into the end zone, picks that ball up, nimble feet, and tramples into the end zone for a Wildcat touchdown. Another turnover that Tullahoma converts into points. There's your mercy clock, Mr. Chastain.
6:56 to go here in the third quarter. For some reason, it is stopped. Not supposed to stop for extra points. Kick is up by Grant Chadwick, and the kick is good. 6:56 to go in the third quarter. Tullahoma 42, Creekwood 2. This is the Light Tube Sports Network.
It's football time, and Tennessee and nobody tackles the competition like the Russell Barnett Automotive family. With 6 locations to serve you, certified collision center, over 1,000 new and pre-owned vehicles to choose from at russellbarnett.com. Hometown auto rental, limited lifetime powertrain warranty on certain units, certified pre-owned units. Too many reasons to mention why. Keep asking the question, why buy anywhere else?
Furniture and Merchandise Outlet is a factory direct furniture store based here in Tennessee. Family owned and operated for 27 years, we promise you hometown service and the guaranteed best price in the state every time. Come see our 30,000 square foot showroom with a warehouse to match, and we'll help you shop for every room in your home. Thank you, Tullahoma, for voting us Finest Furniture Store 3 years in a row. We look forward to many more.
Where we're going to estimate the distance, Cam Robinson's fumble recovery return to 17 yards. That's where the ball was, at the Creekwood 17-yard line. Robinson just lumbered into the end zone.
Yeah, so some big plays by the Tullahoma defense as well as the offense here in this third quarter, and they've got it really going now. Cats fired up, blowing out the Red Hawks. You know, a scoop and score right there by the big man. We had the Landon Fouch interception just a few minutes ago.
Grant Chadwick will kick off for Tullahoma. And Grant's kick just booms into the end zone. Yeah, that's Grant Chadwick, Tullahoma's backup kicker.
Tell you what, yeah, you know, I saw on the extra points, man, those balls were sailing into the night air over the top of the uprights. He was booming boomed the last 2 extra points as well. He's got a leg, just like his brother.
So, again, the clock will continue to run now except on scores, injuries, and timeouts. Not even on penalties does it stop unless the officials stop it. So Creekwood now down 42-2. What's your game plan, Ken? We've got lightning in the distance here at Creekwood High School in Charlotte, Tennessee. Michael Harris takes it over right tackle for a gain of about 8.
Big lick by Caden Tucker on that one. Tullahoma still striking on defense. Those guys are really ramping up for Pearl Cone next week. They look good. They haven't allowed any points. The only points in this game scored on a safety by Creekwood on a high snap through the end zone on a punt for Tullahoma, punt attempt for Tullahoma.
Brought back haunting memories of third-round playoffs against Nolensville. Same looking play. Stevens wants to throw over the middle. That pass is high and incomplete. Stevens a little discombobulated there, intended it for Jaden Elliott.
Number 80 into the defensive secondary for Tullahoma. That's Zane Hoff. He is a junior. We may see Ethan Hargroves in at safety.
Oh, yeah.
26 at left corner for Tullahoma. That's Brock Stroop. So Tullahoma, you know, that's the third key to victory we talked about was building depth, and we thought tonight we would see some of the bench get cleared. These guys work hard in practice too. Tullahoma building depth through reserves here.
Stevens on 3rd and 1 hands it to Michael Harris, and I think he got the first down. First down, Creekwood. Spotted at the Red Hawk 31.
Colton Proctor in at left defensive end. We have big 54 up there on the defensive line. That is Zach Swiger. So some new players in on that Tullahoma defense right now, but really same result, playing tough right now.
Number 5 across the way at cornerback is Jalen Hill, 6'2", 175 sophomore. Good-looking athlete. Evan Tomlin is in. Creekwood 1st and 10. Stevens back to throw. Here comes pressure. Stevens eludes it. Stevens going to run it now, and he's driven out of bounds at the 32, 33-yard line. A gain of a couple for Stevens. And again, if you go out of bounds, it does not stop the clock.
That's right. Tackle made by Painter on that. Boy, his white jersey is stained tonight. That young man's played hard. That sweat and dirt mixed in together on his jersey. He's going to need a good washing.
Painter's had a great game.
He sure has.
He made some big plays early, really set the tone for that Wildcat defense. And Ryan Scott has just been outstanding. He has just been phenomenal tonight.
It's great to see his maturation, his development, man. He's getting better and better each game, and that's a great trend.
Stevens sacked. The ball is loose. Tullahoma's going to pick it up, and Brody Melton's going to take it into the end zone for the touchdown. The sack.
Mercy.
I'm not sure who made the sack. Was Colton Proctor.
Wow.
And then picked up and run into the end zone by Tullahoma. Wow.
Woo, what a feeding frenzy by these Wildcats, now feasting on these Red Hawks. Man, Proctor came in there so quick it was like a blur. He nailed the quarterback. He temporarily was down. That's Jacob Stevens. He's now up. But another scoop and score. That's 2 scoop and scores here in this third quarter. One on a sack, both of them after hitting the quarterback. No, the other one was a running back fumble that was picked up. This was a quarterback sack.
Grant Chadwick to attempt the point after on the hold from Parton. Kick is up, and it's good. 3:03 left to go in the third quarter. Tullahoma 49, Creekwood 2. This is the Light Tube Sports Network.
Did you know that Tullahoma Utilities Authority has a solar farm right here in Tullahoma? For as little as $4 a month, you can support solar energy production and breathe a little easier, knowing you're taking positive action to reduce your carbon footprint. Call 455-4515 today.
As football is a tradition in our community, so is Stroop's Accurate Refrigeration. We were here then, we are here now, serving our community for over 45 years. Continue the winning combination, Stroop's Accurate Refrigeration for the win. Call 455-8757, the name you can trust.
Now this Creekwood crowd is settled back in their phones and their kids, and their Red Hawks are down 49-2. They thought maybe this was a good chance to get their offense going and get a region win, and it ain't happening.
Well, the mercy clock's not even holding the Wildcats back this quarter. There's, since that thing's been implemented, they're still scoring. So, wow. What can you say, man? They're clicking now. The Cats are clicking now.
Well, my player of the game is just the defense. Just lightning continuing coming out of the south as Grant Chadwick's kick is going to be returned from the goal line. Boom, nice hit by Tullahoma. The runner keeps going. All the way out to the 40 goes Jaden Elliott with the kickoff return. And the Creekwood fans are excited.
So officially, Scott, you have Proctor, you think, got the sack, and who took the ball in for the Wildcats?
Brody Melton.
Brody Melton. So
your defensive ends getting it done, teaming up there. So Melton scored on a pass and a fumble return.
How about that?
Cam Robinson scoring on a fumble return. You just can't beat forcing turnovers. No. I formation for Creekwood. Right in the middle of the field, forget it. Brandon Painter's just there, stuffing the hole for the Wildcats.
Well, Tullahoma, I believe, has created 4 turnovers, 3 in the third quarter. So they had the fumble in the first half, they had the foul interception in the third quarter, and then 2 scoop and scores off fumbles. And so that's a sign of a good team, is taking what do you do with the turnovers? What can you do in a sudden change situation? And, Tullahoma has been the benefactor of that tonight. Seizing their opportunities.
Think the Vols will have any trouble with Tennessee Tech tomorrow?
No.
Creekwood going to run it around the left side and pick up there of 3, maybe 4 yards.
It should look, Scott, about like this game.
Porter Matlock.
The clock continues to run. 1:20 to go. Wildcats up by 47 points, 49-2.
3rd down and 6, Creekwood at the Red Hawk 45-yard line.
Most impressive performance of the year, no doubt, Scott, right? You think? Your thoughts? Especially this third quarter, man.
Been pretty impressive. Been pretty impressive. Ball is loose on the ground, and guess who's got it? The Tullahoma Wildcats have got it.
5 turnovers.
Fumble recovered by Hill, Jalen Hill. And I don't know what happened there. 24, Porter Matlock ran it for about 20 yards and then just got hit, and the ball was dislodged.
Yeah, big Mason Miller in there for the Wildcats, big number 74. So Wildcats even doing it with their substitutes, and that's a great sign. Even though you put the second string in, hey, second, third string, those guys still play football too, and that's what you want, man. Compete just like the starters because your time's coming.
So Tullahoma on the other side of the quarter will have it 1st and 10 at the Wildcat 40. Well, we've played 36 minutes here in Charlotte, Tennessee, and Tullahoma leads Creekwood 49-2 on the Light Tube Sports Network.
Family Dentistry understands you never get a second chance to make a good first impression, and your smile is an important part of that impression. That's why they put together the most experienced, friendly, and professional staff. Add to that the most sophisticated diagnostic and treatment technology available. The result is a winning smile so powerful you could break ice with it. Visit the smile experts at Glickenwood's Family Dentistry and let your smile be the first thing people notice about you. Glickenwood's Family Dentistry, glickenwoods.com, or find them on Facebook.
Tullahoma lining it up now with Will Parton at quarterback, and Parton's pass is incomplete. Incomplete pass, Parton on 1st down. Tried a little shuffle pass there. That didn't work.
Well, Ryan Scott's night is over, but Scott, what a spectacular night it was. It's time to build some depth at that quarterback position. But, boy, you certainly got to be impressed with what number 4 did at quarterback tonight.
Had a great night. Had 3 touchdown passes in the first half, 170 yards. Really no reason to throw it here in the second half, as Tullahoma has just crushed Creekwood here in the second half. He did have a 48-yard pass to Jacob Dixon, though, so over 200 yards passing for Ryan Scott. As fog begins to roll in here, and the pass is behind the line. It's a loose football. Tullahoma tries to recover it, but Creekwood recovers it at the 20-yard line. That's a fumble.
Yeah, no doubt that was a lateral to Reagan Tomlin. So, a mistake by the Tullahoma offense, they'll learn. These youngsters will learn from that play, and I'm sure that the Olive brothers will take them into the film room and say, hey, we got to get better than this. Got to execute.
The ball slipped out of Parton's hands. That was very obvious.
Yeah.
So Creekwood's got a chance to get some points on the board with the clock running. 10:25 to go. Tullahoma leading 49-2.
Boy, it's getting foggy out there, too.
I think Tullahoma may have too many players on the field.
It looks like we got about 15 out there. I don't know.
Creekwood's going to run it inside the 15.
Lots of white shirts.
That is Porter Matlock.
Let's see.
For a gain of 6.
Maybe not.
Second down and 4. They just missed it.
No, we have 11.
Well, we might have 11 now. Not sure we had 11 when that play was snapped. Mercy clock running. Mercy run faster. 9:40 to go. Creekwood, 2nd and 4 at the Tullahoma 14. Even a touchdown here won't stop the Mercy clock. Stevens. Option, left side. Stevens fights his way and run out of bounds at the 3. It's a first down and goal for Creekwood.
Well, Creekwood hasn't scored a touchdown in region play. They were shut out both by Marshall County and Pearl-Cohn, so they're trying to they got the starting quarterback still out there wanting to punch in a touchdown here in a region game, and I don't blame them.
Got the entire starting offense out there. 9 minutes left to go, 49-2 Cats. Creekwood has it first and goal at the Tullahoma 3. Against Tullahoma's second team defense. Just about all the points the Wildcats have given up in the last 2 years, honestly, have been on the second team defense. Touchdown, Creekwood. Michael Harris scores for the Red Hawks.
Well, the Red Hawks trying to generate a little momentum for next week. You know, the top 4 teams out of this 9-team region will be in the playoffs, and really, you know, you got to believe Tullahoma, Pearl-Cohn, Marshall County, you know, are going to get in there. So they want to try to beat Montgomery Central next week.
They need to.
Yes, they do.
Creekwood's going to go for 2, trailing 49-8. Stevens under center. And will roll to the right. Stevens looking for a man to throw to. That run pass option. He runs it into the end zone for the 2-point conversion. So with 8:47 to go, Tullahoma 49, Creekwood 10. This is the Light Tube Sports Network.
Body Shop was voted Never's Choice Small Business of the Year by the Tullahoma Area Chamber of Commerce for 2016, and we work daily to earn that award from every one of our customers. We specialize in using the most current technology available, including environmentally friendly waterborne paint. We work with all insurance companies and will gladly help you with any insurance claims or questions you may have. Call us at 931-455-2570 or come by our new office located at 606 South Jefferson Street. Be sure to look for the bright red door.
Welcome back to Charlotte, Tennessee, and Creekwood High School. And I think we've got a lightning delay, partner. 8:47 to go. The game is suspended for 30 minutes. 8:47 to go. I think they'll end up calling this game. I think they might wait 30 minutes, but we'll see. We're going to break away, though, and just leave you a shot of the field, maybe the scoreboard. That's all we can do. 8:47 to go. Tullahoma leads Creekwood 49-10. We are in a lightning delay. Creekwood is headed for the locker room. Tullahoma not yet headed for the locker room. Seems to be a little confusion. Maybe Coach Houston Thiel would consider calling this game right now.
Furniture and Merchandise Outlet is a factory direct furniture store based here in Tennessee. Family owned and operated for 27 years, we promise you hometown service and the guaranteed best price in the state every time. Come see our 30,000 square foot showroom with a warehouse to match, and we'll help you shop for every room in your home. Thank you, Tullahoma, for voting us Finest Furniture Store 3 years in a row. We look forward to many more.
Whether it's a home loan, a business loan, a personal loan, a loan for any good reason, Citizens Tri-County Bank is here to help you with the loans you need. With caring, friendly lending pros at convenient offices across Tullahoma, we love our community and we take pride in helping people get the loans they need. Citizens Tri-County Bank, focused on making loans for the individuals and businesses of our community.
Welcome back to Creekwood High School in Charlotte, Tennessee. The game has been called. So Tullahoma a winner tonight, 49-10 over Creekwood. The Wildcats move to 4-0 on the season, 2-0 in Region 5 4A. Creekwood falls to 1-4 on the year, 0-3 in Region 5 4A. Ken, your final analysis.
Well, final analysis, Ryan Scott, fantastic with the deep ball, but I'm going to give credit to the defense. Defense played spectacular tonight. Only 2 points in the first half on a special teams gaff by Tullahoma, but boy, that long bomb, 75 yards at the end of the first half with 34 seconds to go, Ryan Scott hit Chris Usleton, to me, the biggest play of the game. Tullahoma at that point was up 14-2, and that gave them momentum going into the locker room, and they just absolutely exploded on both sides of the ball, Scott, in quarter number 3, and they outscored the Red Hawks 28-0, putting the running clock going on the mercy rule, and it was all over at that point.
So Tullahoma's defense forces 4 turnovers in the third quarter and turns 3 of them into touchdowns. The Wildcats run away with this one, 49-10. That's going to do it for us tonight. We appreciate you tuning in. Next week we will be back home at Wilkins Stadium, homecoming, Pearl Cone. It'll be a battle for first place in Region 5 4A, so we need everybody out at Wilkins Stadium Friday night at 7 o'clock. That's going to do it from Charlotte. Again, your final, Tullahoma 49, Creekwood 10. For the Light Tube Sports Network and Ken Keller, I'm Scott Chastain. Be good to each other.